What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Paste Studio here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We're broadcasting to you live from the Manhattan Center here on 34th Street, as we do every single day, many times a day. And we are really, really proud, excited to welcome Dharmasoul to our studio. Guys, what's happening?
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? I'm so glad to have you here. There is a debut record from you guys, but there's a whole life of music that seems to have been kind of poured into this album, though it is the debut album from you guys. It's called Lightning Kid. It's coming out on June 1st, and we're going to hear 3 songs from that album and another one that is even newer than the album that has not yet come out. It's the newest of the new. So let's get it started off with a song, and tell me a little bit about this first one.
Sure thing. Yeah, this one is called Chosen One, and this is actually the first song on the new record. And the inspiration for this song is kind of a different take on the resurrection story.
All right.
Sweat is beaded on my brow. The fire's hard and my palms are bleeding. The crowd is gathered all around to watch the scene of holy treason. Who made this crown of thorns? Who made this heart that will soon stop beating? Who raised the mountains high? Who won't make them fall back to the sea? And I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one and only. I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one who's chosen. Millions of prayers every day. I can't keep up with all these lost souls. I try to show you all the way. Let your heart be your own savior. Cause I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one and only. I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one who's chosen. The resurrection is within. I'm not coming back to save you. You gotta lose your mind to win. Return to the source that made you. Cause I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one and only. I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one who's chosen. Cause I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one and only. I don't wanna be the one. I don't wanna be the one who's chosen.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you so much. So that's the first song on the debut album from Dharmasoul called Lightning Kid. So I was reading about this record, and even though this is the first record by you guys individually have been doing this a long time. And it seems like it's been kind of like these parallel paths that kind of intersected finally for you guys. Both from Princeton, New Jersey. Jonah, on my right, you have been making records, couple solo records under your belt. Kevin, also a lot of solo work on drums, jazz oriented, down in New Orleans, a lot of it. So you guys were, doing great. What happened that this finally had to come out?
I don't know, something went wrong, man. I'm not sure what it was.
A collision.
It was like a shining star. Yeah, like a shooting star came. We met when we were 15 at this, as it's called, National Guitar Workshop, and it was this like guitar camp, and I was the only drummer.
What were you doing there?
Exactly, right. What am I doing with guitar players? They had like had drum classes and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff, and they took us out to this this blues bar, and I saw this guy wearing like overalls, like denim overalls with like a cigar box and harmonicas. And I was just like, this dude's kind of weird but cool. I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna see what his deal is. And we just played on stage, and we were just like, where are you from, man? Princeton. We're both from Princeton. Let's do this. And then the winding of our lives, and then we kind of like met back up a few years ago.
Yeah, we first met back up in 2014 for South by Southwest Festival for a solo thing of myself. And then summer of last year, we met up to do a little tour with our friend Helen Rose, and we were backing her up, doing some of my solo stuff, and it just kind of all came together. And I had a session time booked in August for a solo record, and we just fell in love with what we were doing and started changing the songs and writing new songs. And we're like, let's just make this a Dharmasoul project, a band project, and that's kind of how it spiraled forward from there.
Yeah, I mean, was this the music that you guys? I mean, I'm sort of answering my own question. This wasn't exactly the music that individually you guys have been doing all these years. Was this something that each of you was looking to do, and the other was just right there on the same wavelength, or was there like, how do you figure out what the sound of this thing is actually going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. We've been doing like opposite, because he'd been playing his own music for years, like his songs, and I'd been playing other people's music for like 12 years. So I felt like it was time that I wanted to play, not just Jonah songs, but writing my own music, and that's what Lightning Kid is. It's kind of this like fusion of the experiences that I had in New Orleans and going to school down there and playing jazz and everything, and just kind of that like combination. But yeah.
And in a similar way, I didn't want to keep playing my own songs by myself, and just it's a different thing when it's one person behind the wheel, than two people each person is the co-pilot together. And we were listening to a lot of the same music, some more R&B and jazz stuff, and some neo soul kind of stuff, and rock and roll, and we kind of just fused everything together. And I think we really, at least speaking for myself, he really lifts me up as a musician, as a human being. So
yeah, cool, man. So we're gonna do a couple more from Lightning Kid. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up next.
This one is called "Bless Your Children," and it was really influenced by. It's kind of over the years. It's kind of like a culmination song of a lot of social things that have happened. With it kind of spread up from the Ferguson Syrian refugee crisis, Standing Rock, a lot of these social rights and civil rights issues, and I felt like there needed to be another song about that. I'm a huge Crosby, Stills, Nash fan, and those protest songs are really like part of my heart. So I wanted to write something in that for the new era, kind of that stage. But
nice.
We're going to do that one.
I don't know what it's like to be fighting all my life for a land, for a love. So I ask you, God above, to bless your children. Bless your children. I don't know how how it feels to be pushed back on my heels by a man with a gun. So I ask you, Holy One, to bless your children. Bless your children. I don't know what it means to be on my hands and knees praying for a war to end. These people need a friend. Bless your children. Bless your children. My mother and father gave me so much to give, but there are still children waiting on a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So that was, what I was thinking about as I was listening to that song is that, I've been listening to Jonah's music for years. I know what your voice sounds like. Kevin, have you always been singing are you a singing drummer all these years?
I would say, yeah. It started like when in middle school I had a middle school band, and there was no one that like wanted to sing. So I just like brought the mic around and just started doing that when I was about 12.
Yeah.
And just working out singing Beatles songs and, getting the drum, trying to blend that in. I didn't even like know who like Phil Collins was or Levon Helm, and then I saw like Levon and like Anderson .Paak and stuff, and it's like, this is like, I like doing this.
Well, I mean, like in jazz drumming, I mean, I'm trying to think of like any like famous jazz drummers who are known as vocalists while playing. Are there jazz models for this?
One guy right now who's huge is Jamison Ross. He's like vocalist and drummer supreme. So
yeah,
he's a guy, but I don't know many others.
I mean, it's not like, when I think of like Levon Helm, as great as he is, what he's doing on drums is like great and sort of subtle in its way, but he's not playing jazz so much. There's a lot going on when you're playing jazz drums.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been difficult.
Yeah, it's just I just try to like add musical things to the song and try not to let it get too like jazzy. I never like that phrase, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, we actually on Paste.com just a few months ago, we did this whole thing on like the greatest singing drummers, and that's the other thing I was thinking of as you guys were playing. Like I think Levon was top of the list, Phil Collins, Don Henley was on there, Buddy Miles from Hendrix and Band Gypsies and many other things. So like was there so I was thinking like a particular guy for you that was really kind of like, was it Levon?
I'd say the earliest the earliest like singing drummer was definitely Levon.
Yeah. Yeah.
With like the weight and stuff
Totally.
like that.
Yeah. And Last Waltz, like, you know, you can just picture it with him like sort of his head like cocked upward at the microphone.
Yeah.
The way he did it. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool. I mean, we don't get many here because there are not many of you. It's a rare breed.
All right. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. So we're gonna do a couple more with Dharmasoul. The next one I think is from Lightning Kid, and then I think an even newer one after that. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up next.
Sure. Well, do
Armored
you
Hearts?
want to do Armored Hearts or Open Your Heart?
Let's do Armored Hearts.
All right, we're going to do a song called Armored Hearts. And this one, oh man, let me think. It has a lot to do with interpersonal problems between two people who have a difficult time connecting with one another because of walls that they've built around themselves for self, kind of defensive mechanisms and things like that. And it's very difficult, I think, to be in this current age, 2018, without having defense mechanisms, going through your phone, sitting on the train, there's so much constant input all the time being around people, especially, a city like New York. And so this song is just speaking to just recognize that those walls are there and that they don't always have to be there.
All right.
There's so many people that are suffering tonight. There's so many people who walked away from the light. And I know that you're hurting so bad. You gotta lean into it when you're feeling that sad. Stay in the moment, my friend. It's all right here. There's nothing to run from, and there's nothing to fear. You gotta feel the darkness, you gotta feel the pain. You gotta make peace with the things that slip away. 'Cause we got armored hearts. We've been living like this too long. We got armored hearts. You gotta free yourself from what went wrong. We all got a child that lives inside. We lose sight of it on this turbulent ride. And I'm here to remind you to be kind to yourself. Hold your own hand and you will have endless wealth. 'Cause we got armored hearts. We've been living like this too long. We got armored hearts. You gotta free yourself from what went wrong. So lonely here in the grips of the setting sun, and it's clutching right at my chest. And baby, I want to run from armored hearts. Armored hearts. Armored hearts. Armored hearts.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you. So we were talking a little bit about the drums, and now we're going to talk a little bit about guitar. Because, Jonah, the guitar that you're holding, I don't know much about, but I know that it's one of very few instruments that we have in this studio that comes with its own bio. Like there's like a press release for this thing. So it looks like a Telecaster. I assume it's not a Telecaster. Tell me a little bit about what that is.
Sure. So this guitar, man, where to even begin? This guitar was made for me by an amazing artist and friend. His name is Don Moser. He lives out in California. And, man, this guy is an incredible artist. He has a guitar in the Smithsonian right next to Chuck Berry's Cadillac. And,
Which he did not make.
Yeah. And in the rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm just so blessed that he was, we were able to work on this together. And so this instrument has, I don't know if you can see this, but it has a crystal inside of it under this heart. And this was my mother was holding this crystal while she was giving birth to me.
Wow.
And under this crystal ball, which is the Moser signature, is my grandfather.
Huh, that's sort of symbiotic in a way. His signature is the crystal ball, and that crystal has like is an integral part of your origin story.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
That's cool.
And then this is a little storyteller pin, and my mother's a storyteller. That's how she put food on the table for, while I was growing up, telling stories in inner city schools and prisons and giving workshops and things. And then got some rhinestones up there, all the different colors, and it says gratitude here. So this is kind of like, this is my altar to my family, the things I'm grateful for, or as Don would say, this is my spirit calling stick.
Yeah, it's it's an amazing piece of art. The one thing I was that is also interesting to me about it is that it does sort of take the form of the Fender Telecaster with, the headstock, the body shape, like the control and tone. I mean, was that part of it from the beginning? You were like, that's my shape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I actually got the guitar. This is kind of funny. I was actually auditioning to be in the Hardworking Americans out in Nashville, which didn't work out. Which is they're awesome, but I'm glad that we're doing this.
Me too,
So I got the guitar when I was out there at this little store called Fanny's, which is this little pink building, and it had some kind of like woman with kind of scantily dressed or whatever, and
That's what it is.
and it was like over here, but I love the neck on the guitar. It has this U neck. It's really, it's hard to come by a neck like this. So I actually mailed him the body of the guitar, and then this really wonderful luthier named Billy Asher, he put in his pickup here, the Sweet Tea pickup, and he did the setup and everything like that. And then Don did the artwork.
Yeah,
the
it's
guitar.
like it takes a village basically to make that guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous, and it sounds great as well. It's really nice to be looking at as well as listening to. Cool, and it sort of leads us into the last thing, which is an instrumental that you guys are going to do.
Yeah.
So this one is not on the record. It's even newer than the record, which has not even come out yet. So it's like newest of new. Tell me a little bit about this last one.
We've been calling it Midnight Stroll,
Working title.
working title. Yeah, it's just kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. We've been listening to a lot of like Charlie Hunter and combinations of different neo-soul bands like Moonchild and D'Angelo and things like that. But
RH Factor, a little Julian Lodge.
yeah, so
Yeah,
a lot
Julian
of
was just here last week actually with Nels Klein,
Oh man,
killing it.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump into that.
Thank you guys so much for having us here. And
Yeah, man, it's our pleasure.
for listening and being here watching. Here's Midnight Stroll. Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you so much. Everybody, this is Dharmasoul. Kevin on my left, Jonah on my right. The debut album from these guys is called Lightning Kid. Comes out on June 1st. There are a bunch of singles out in the world now that you can go and find on all your favorite streaming services. There's also a tour afoot, a bunch of New York dates coming up. May 4th and May 21 and June 5, all at Pete's Candy Store out in Brooklyn. And a couple of shows in the home state of Jersey, including at Princeton Friends. Did you guys go to, is that your school?
I went there.
You went there?
Yeah.
All right. And some other dates as well. And you guys can all find those dates at dharmasoulband.com. And record comes out on June 1. Guys, thank you so much
And
for
thank
coming
you.
to Paste
Thank you, guys.
and playing in our studio for us today. And please come back, play for us again anytime, all right?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.